Archivists for Congregations of Women Religious Video Tutorials, Oral Histories and Their Purpose by Scott Keefer, Archivist for the Daughters of Charity, Province of St. Louis. Oral histories are people's stories told in their own words. They can cover a specific topic, like a sister's time at a particular mission, or involve a sister telling a version of her life story. They are important because they capture the mission of the community and its charism as it was actually lived and enacted. Here at the Daughters of Charity, we try to interview as many of the retired sisters who are able and willing to sit for an interview. They range in length from 20 minutes to 2 hours, but average around 40 or 45 minutes. It is helpful to gather a sister's mission history before beginning the interview. Make sure everyone is aware of the interview format and can work any equipment. If you are using digital equipment to record your interview, make sure you can get the file to a server or preservation system, and that they are in file formats that can be used on all systems, such as .wav or .mp3 for audio, and .mov or .avi for video. Be aware that these files may be large and take up a lot of space. An interviewer should have a basic list of questions. These serve to keep the interview on track, but they should not be too constrictive to letting a sister go where she pleases with the interview. Sometimes these make for the best interviews. As an interviewer, don't worry about saying too little in an interview. This is a time for a sister to use her own voice and tell her own story. Affirmations are best done by nodding or smiling, rather than vocal tics and statements, or by asking follow-up questions. Sometimes the hardest part of an interview is knowing when to ask further questions and knowing when to keep your voice to yourself. If a sister asks for a break or for a pause in the interview, that is perfectly all right. The interviewer should do what they can to make the interviewee as comfortable as possible in order to encourage the most thorough picture of her oral history. A pause in the interview can be noted, or even whether the interview was conducted over multiple days and times. Before every interview, especially if you intend to use it during a sister's lifetime, you should make sure you can get a signature turning over authority to the archives. Here is a sample form that you can use and modify. It can also include any special requests a sister has about the interview, such as a time period that it will be closed to researchers, or restrictions on its use. Best practice also says that you should transcribe the interview word for easier access. This can be a lengthy and time-consuming process. Unless you have that or a very eager volunteer, you may want to forego this until a later date, and instead create a subject index. Include the name and date of the interview, and a few subjects that the sister touched upon. That way, the interview can be found with related subjects. While transcription is the ideal, be aware that attempting to transcribe an interview yourself can take up to 6 times the length of the interview, assuming you are a good typist and including checking for spelling, names, and notes for context. Key components. An oral history seeks to preserve the charism of a community as it was actually lived by the sisters who enacted it. It is a chance for a sister to have a voice for the historical record. Make sure everyone involved is aware and informed about the process of the interview, that you can work all technology, and that the technology will be usable in the future. Thank you for your time. I hope you enjoyed this ACWR produced tutorial.